Hello, welcome to everybody else. Today we are going to start another video, class 12th, lesson number 1st. The name of the book is Prose section. The first lesson is this, that the last lesson is written by the great French writer whose name is M.l.Sharma. M.l.Sharma has written so many beautiful essays. So in this chapter, M.l.Sharma has beautifully described a student and a teacher. What the student wants and what the teacher wants. The teacher is very strict, disciplined, and punishes those students who do not work, who do not learn the lessons given by the teacher whose name is M.l. On the other hand, the narrator of the story is the little boy whose name is Little French. He is the narrator of the story. So I mean to say, he is very slow learner. He does not learn his lesson properly. He is always afraid of his teacher who punishes him. Once the teacher asks him to take the test on the rules of participants, but he has not learned. These are the war days, and in these war days, Japan and French were at front.
Is the first chapter of class 12th. In this chapter, I am going to explain about this chapter. The last lesson is a lesson which has been written by the great writer M.l.Sharma. In the present lesson, there are two main characters. A little boy named French, who is the narrator of the story, is a student in a school. On the other hand, M.l. is a teacher who teaches French language, and these are the war days during the Second World War, and Japan and France are at front. During the war, there are two big cities named Alsace and Lorraine. So the story takes place in these two cities. I am telling to you about the little student French, who is a very slow learner, who does not want to learn his lessons given by his teacher M.l. M.l. is such a teacher who is very disciplined, who is very hardworking, who punishes the students, those who do not learn their lessons. The students are afraid of him. As we talk about him, I earlier told you that he is very hard learning, hard worker, but the student French does not learn his lesson. He is afraid of him that his teacher M.l. will rebuke him. So he always fears of his teacher. One day he goes to school late, knowingly, deliberately. जानबूझकर स्कूल लेट जाता है वो, और when he goes to school, everything is quite still. everything is quite like Sunday morning. He is upset. He goes to his class and sits, but M. Hamel on that day did not rebuke him. Because this was the last lesson of M. Hamel, who was teaching French language, because Japan had declared that only German language would be taught, only German language would be taught in the schools of Alsace or Lorraine. And M. Hamel was the teacher of French language. So German had declared that the French teacher would be sent back. When Franz, who was coming to school, on the way, he stood before the bulletin board. So on the bulletin board there were news that only German language would be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine, and the teachers who were teaching French language would be sent back to their country. It was a great shock to M. Hamel, and M. Hamel took a piece of chalk. He wrote on the blackboard in French language and said that this was his last lesson in French language. He also wrote on the blackboard, "Vive France," means long live France. In this way, this chapter, the last lesson, comes to an end. I have explained everything very clearly and in very simple language. I hope that you have understood it. Now all the very important questions I have made the PDF and given it in descriptions. So check it, learn it and benefited it. If you do so, it will be very, very beneficial for you. I hope that, not only hope, but I confirm myself that you have liked this video and it will be very, very beneficial for you. So like it, subscribe it and